hope that we will have today a very nice day, the morning, and we can have good experience.
MOSIPS, no? MOSIPS system will constitute an intelligent policy simulation system, allowing forecasting and visualizing the socio-economic potential impact of public policies of SME. We are conscious that MOSIPS is a really ambitious idea, but we are sure that with the cooperation of our 8 European partners, we will successfully achieve our objectives. No? All these aspects will be deeply analyzed today by starting with a comprehensive presentation of MOSIPS.
MOSIPS is an acronym, of course, and it stands for Modeling and Simulation of the Impact of Public Policies of SMEs. It's a quite an ambitious project, around 3.5 million euros of budget, with actually a duration of 42 months, and a consortium composed by 9 entities from 6 different European countries. ANOVA is the coordinating entity, the entity I represent, and has been involved in the development of this project. The University of Alcalá, who was in charge of developing the theoretical model capable to somehow feed and create this simulator. Other universities, like for instance the German University of Constance, in charge of make easy to understand to the policymakers and the end user what are the results of these numbers of the simulation, to easily understand if a policy is effective or not. The University of Reading in the UK, in charge of developing the simulator itself by the hard work of coding and to translate somehow in technology what was the theoretical model developed by the University of Alcalá. EIIR, Anna Sadowska, is with us here today in order to, let's say, to be sure in a way that we were developing a system that was going to be accepted by the entities that were going to use that through studies and analysis. And of course, the 2 end users of the consortium, the Municipality of Madrid and the Municipality of Verona, where we developed the simulator for in order to understand what can be a possible positive effect or negative effect or side effect of a specific public policy on the territory. We can say really easy, okay, the government needs more money, so we increase the taxes. But sometimes it's not a so easy decision, not only for the public opinion that of course is going to say no, but even if because you don't know what effect will have on companies the increase of the taxes. Maybe companies will bankrupt because they already work with low margins. And so all these elements need to be taken into account. So we tried also with MOSIPS to define in a way a channel, a measure to collect on the simulation results, not only the quantitative information about the public policy. And for quantitative information, I just consider, the cold, straight numbers, just numbers. We try also to understand and to capture qualitative opinions from the citizens.
Today, in my part of this round table, even if I should say it's not so round really, we will talk about the role of the government in implementing and monitoring the policies directed to SMEs, its innovation and its development. Right now, no policy is good for a longer time. Actually, the policies are fitting for shorter and shorter times. And that's why, because our behavior is changing, our culture is changing, technology is changing. That kind of all factors create the problems which policymakers, who are just a human being, has to face and has to solve very fast. That's why the system which we have developed is so important right now, because the time to decide and to change the bad policy is simply shorter and shorter.
Collecting data, the challenges of collecting data. This is very important for us. Timing. In the decision-making process, timing is very important. And like Paula said, is many times the policymakers develop assessments and evaluation after the policy is implemented, but now more and more the idea of having the information beforehand is important. So the idea is we want to be able to face the challenges, societal challenges of efficiency, prioritize what the money, where the money should go, and we want to talk about science and technology excellence. So this is kind of like the road or the roadmap that we're trying to follow for the Spanish policy in science and technology.
The policymaker, you have to establish the global strategy, right? You establish the program, then people apply to this program, and then people do the job, you know, they perform the project, and then only at the end they will think, okay, how we are going to evaluate. We spend a lot of money, but we don't know exactly if we really get the return on investment, right? And this is where, for example, when MOSIPS can bring actually an added value, because you don't work only at the end of the project, but rather beforehand, and this is how I see it. Just to give an example, which is could be a relevant, important organism, we have the Research Norwegian Council. Probably you have the same as well in Spain, and probably you can find in many others universities. So not only they provide the funds, this Research Norwegian Council, but as well they work in terms of the policy and strategy very closely to with the government, the money giver. So, of course, it's one of the most activity for them is that they need to evaluate the quality, the efficiency, and as well the research sectors. If we talk about the sectors, since you mentioned, Cecilia, as well, the same thing. Yeah? So, and then because the evaluation part will actually give them a good basis in order to see where they have to give the money, how to allocate the research money, in which sectors. The tendency the last few years was to give a lot of money to the oil industry. But now they realize that, okay, it's nice, they receive a lot of money. So now one of the focus more on the healthcare and the technology. So, and they have been working on that by taking, let's say, some input from the citizen. This is what you mentioned. Because one of the main issues in Norway, for example, is a not very good, let's say, healthcare system.
What can you do? I think your project has arrived at the stage where it becomes necessary to build kinds of a framework. I think you have a good solution there with what you have developed in MOSIPS, but what you don't have is a wide agreement of what to do or how to use it. Like how to format data so that you can properly feed it into MOSIPS, and if different people from different sites feed something in, that their results then are really comparable. And I think this is where you have to start. And this is what I wouldn't call standardization, I would call it pre-standardization.
I want to highlight only one specific things that we as policymakers need in order to make right decisions, in order to invest in a good way your money. Okay? Okay, then let's talk about policymakers, decision process, and we have been talking about objectives, KPIs, indicators, about planning, about scheduling, about getting results, about matching real results with planned results, and we have talked about correcting measures.